What's going on, man? I be having thoughts on subjects, man, and today I want to speak on culture vultures. So, I've heard a lot about culture vultures, the people that have come into hip hop and taken from hip hop, and people don't feel like they've necessarily given anything back to the culture for what they've taken. From my perspective, you have to allow someone to come into your culture and take all your shit. You have to allow it. Okay, let me put it like this. Go through all the HBCUs, the proud ones to the ones that's got the least prestige. How many of them are teaching hip hop? Hip hop is Black history. Y'all should be teaching that shit at every HBCU from here to motherfucking, from the Missouri to the Missouri, to the Mississippi to the Mississippi. It should be in every school. So that's how you don't allow people to grab your history. You motherfuckers think history started at gangster rap, or hip hop started at gangster rap. So you don't teach your history. You got people from the outside world admiring the fuck out of hip hop like this is the greatest fucking invention in history. And it is it is the greatest story in motherfucking history, in American history. This is the greatest story in American history. People that didn't give, they didn't give Black people nothing. You free, nigga. Get out of here. Get out our face. And for all these years, Black people been creating different variations of music. Getting okay. We getting rich. We making a couple dollars. But hip hop is Black people's thing. They can't talk nothing about it. Black people, look, man. If Black people are not being taught their history, this is how you get exploited and you end up calling people culture vultures. They're not culture vultures. They're just taking advantage of what you don't love. You don't love your history. They look at hip hop as some nigga shit. But niggas then created history too. Not just smart bourgeoisie niggas that got degrees. It's niggas in the hood that done figured out a way. And they done built themselves up, and they ain't niggas no more. And their kids ain't got to be niggas no more. That's what hip-hop did. Hip-hop, at this standing, is only about 40, maybe 40 or so years old. 50, maybe 50 years old. It's produced 2 billionaires, a whole bunch of millionaires, created whole industries, whole factories for people. This thing that we created, Black people, this thing that we gave to the world, we don't exploit it ourselves. We don't know the history of this thing. And we let people come in because we don't want to do it ourselves. We don't want to really learn our history and understand where this shit came from and how valuable it is. We don't want to do that. Fuck that. We want to pay someone. So while you paying somebody to come in and exploit your shit, you don't even get to teach your people. This is how you lose your shit. So I don't blame no culture vulture. You allowed every single one of them in there. When you share it with the world, you don't get to control how it's used or how it's exploited. You just basically letting people exploit you like you whooping your own ass. You just pulling off your belt your own every day and whooping your own ass. I don't understand how colleges, Black institutions that say we for the Blackness. Nigga, hip hop is blacker than black. Nigga, that's the blackest, blickety blackest shit. You got pastors dancing to rap songs on TikTok. Don't tell me hip hop that made it into the faith. They turned from just dancing on the street to actual real poets. Like people are in the rock and roll Hall of Fame, songwriting Hall of Fame, hip hop. Not even being taught in nan Black institution in America. That's how you get exploited. You don't know your damn history. You don't even know the history of hip hop. Fuck the history of black people in Africa and Egypt and shit. You don't even need to know the history of what your black people have done right here in America. Melly Mel is doing an interview on DJ Vlad, man. It would be right for some people to go check it out. Melly Mel is a true hip-hop head. Like, he is hip-hop. He was at the beginning. He done seen this shit go from okay to what? Hold on. We want to kill our brothers now? This is the game. Like, motherfuckers is beefing. Like, man, motherfuckers be out here beefing for no reason. Like, people be making up fake beefs and rap just to have, like, attention. Like, brothers are dying because they want attention. And we allow, y'all get mad at these culture vultures, man, you stealing from our culture. Nigga, you don't even know your culture. If you don't know it, motherfucker, man, DJ Vlad in his interviews, bro, be so prepared. Like, he be having, like, people, like, go through these people records and go through all of these interviews, and he's asking specific questions from specific points in time in this person's life, and the people be like, damn, this nigga prepared about the show. Man, look here. I watch Ice Cube make a contract for black people, not a contract for Ice Cube and his family. Not for Ice Cube and his family, for black people. And that man went on to a show where he done helped out 2 black women on this show. And they didn't have the common decency to read a 5-page document. Like, you done had a common decency to even read the fucking contract with black people. And you invite this man onto your show and you criticize him. But you did not even read it. That means you already in your head had a motive in your head. Like, something was like, you was like, I'm gonna get this nigga. I'm gonna get this nigga. If you didn't read, if you interviewed Ice Cube and you didn't read the contract for black people, you a goofy motherfucker. I called you goofy. Thank you. You're a goofy motherfucker. And so this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, it goes back to this. You don't have nothing because you ain't built nothing. And people that came in and exploited your ass because you ain't learned how to read no motherfucking contract. You just want to be famous. You just want to be on instead of playing the game. Look here, freedom look like the chitlin circuit, partner. And the chitlin circuit will be about 10, 15 years of your whole career. You might not be dazzling rich, and you might not be dancing with Beyonce now, but you're going to live a better life than most of them jokers in the end. Hey, man, I don't want to talk about Culture Vultures no more. I want to talk about how we, right here, have created something in the last 50 years. In the last 50 years. African Americans, black people, descendants of slaves, poor people sitting in the ghetto said, let's just have a good time. Let's pull out some turntables and let's just have a good time. And then they learned how to loop a record and turn that shit into hip hop, start rapping on beats and create their own industry. And that shit is not being talked about in any, man, look here, TSU. You got Bun B right here in your city, a historian of hip-hop. You got Scarface, one of the greatest rappers in all goddamn hip-hop history. And you telling me this man ain't taught one goddamn class at your school. That's my school. That's my school that I done graduated from, alumni. Why is hip-hop not being spoken about? These kids need to know their history, dog. Like, these kids are out here lining up to go to jail, lining up to die. Man, fuck that nigga, fuck the world, nigga, I'm ready to die. No, nigga, that's not the game. That's not why hip-hop was created. But these kids don't know that. Why? Because it's not being taught in our institutions. It needs to be taught. It is black history. Why is black history? Like, you need to be teaching the blackest of shits. We got to learn from this shit. So this thing that is happening in hip hop right now does not happen ever again. We are at fault for our own shit. Don't talk to me about no culture vulture, motherfucker, when you ain't built no industry for your kids to goddamn have a job.